Welcome. This is Will at Work. I'm Kevin. Today we are going to look at the Odyssey 500. And the purpose of this show, in case you're new to this show, is basically checking to see if my game consoles work. I have the largest collection of unique game systems in the world. At least I do not know of anyone that has more than I. So I'm going with that. And this is one of them. The Odyssey 500. Now we've looked at the Odyssey 100 and 200, which were basically the same system. The 100 was a cheap entry-level unit. The 200 was a deluxe version, which included an extra game. Both of those were emulating the original Odyssey. By emulating, I mean they were some sort of copy. Either they used microprocessors or they were analog, like the original Odyssey, in a new form factor. Most of these form factors are similar. The Odyssey 300 used the AY3-8500 chip, which was fairly generic among Pong systems of the 70s. We looked at a lot of those in this series. And the 400 we recently looked at, which was sort of a deluxe version of the 200, in that it added a chip for on-screen scoring, but kept the analog control model, being vertical and horizontal, that the Odyssey 200 had. Now here, with the Odyssey 500, we take a big leap forward, and this is also the last design of this form factor that they used. And this one is a more advanced system, a late addition, let's say, to their whole model. Now let me see here, one quick second. I'm going to bring up the Odyssey 500 info sheet. Now I do have two of these. This one is in a cleaner box than the other one, but I have both in a box. So we'll look at both to see if they both work. I don't know why exactly I have dupes. I think at one point I didn't have an Odyssey 300 or something, and I kept buying the wrong ones or something to replace it. But I now have basically all of the important Odysseys that exist. Let's look here. Let's see. Series. So the Magnavox Odyssey 500 was released in 1976 as Magnavox high-end companion to the 300 and 400 systems. The Odyssey 500 is essentially a deluxe version of the 400, with several crucial improvements. 500 featured color graphics, the first Odyssey game unit to do so, which we can kind of see here in this outline, but we will check it out. But you can sort of see it right here. And it replaced the standard panels with sprites representing the athletes of the various games: a tennis player, a squash player, and a hockey player. Now, we haven't seen that in any Pong system we've looked at. Everything has been, a block or a rectangle on the screen. The 3 players and 3 play fields were each chosen by separate toggle switches. Games were thus selected by matching the player to an appropriate play field. In addition to the Smash, hockey, and tennis games, Odyssey 500 featured a 4th game, soccer, by using the squash player graphics with the hockey playing field. Unlike the Odyssey 400, however, the 500 does not support 4 on-screen players. That was a thing about the Odyssey 400. You could turn on a sort of 4-player mode, But it wasn't that 4 human beings would be able to play. It was still a 2-player game, but the 4 on-screen players could be controlled sort of like you would control one and the other would follow you on the screen. It's really unique, especially on the 400. We did see something similar in the other console too. I think maybe the First Dimension or something, but otherwise we don't really see that sort of play. Interesting, while Magnavox exploited the mismatching of players and playfields to market the Odyssey 500 as having a 4th game, the remaining 5 possible game combinations were not advertised or documented. Odyssey 500 offers automatic serve, displays digital on-screen scores between plays, provides manual adjustable ball speed control. As with all previous Odyssey units, power is delivered via an AC adapter or 6 C-cell batteries. Now, the only thing is that Wikipedia, being what it is, it doesn't really tell you the microprocessor that this ran on, and I'm always kind of curious. CPU, let's see. Oldcomputers.com says nothing. It just says CPU unknown. Great. So that's kind of the problem with these things. Nobody really wanted to open theirs up and take a look inside, I guess. I don't know. Will we do that on this show? Probably not. Anyway, let's see what we got here in the box. I like how they have a sticker here. It says on-screen colors may vary and may not be as illustrated. That's kind of weird that they put that there. That is actually on my other box too. It's like somebody complained, I got green and mine's blue or something, and they're like, oh, we better put a sticker on every unit. So we've got this, consigning your stuff online. Now this is the people that I think I bought it from, or I bought it from someone who bought it from them. Interesting. And we have the installation and rules. And inside we have an extremely clean unit. I almost think this has never been played. It certainly looks like it's never been played. Wow. I mean, that's pretty... yeah, that's pretty tight. Let's go ahead and take it out of the foam. Now, we've been going through all the Odyssey systems in series, and as I get to them, we've completed all of the other Pong systems except for the more modern one, which I'll show at some point in this series. But with the Odyssey ones, they all use the same sort of RF plug. This is typical of this cord, this plastic rubberized stuff kind of melts into other things. It melts into foam, it'll melt onto the plastic if it's there long enough, etc. For something that's been there probably for close to 50 years, it's at least 45 years, it's probably to be expected. We're got, I always find this interesting. The input is 117 volt rather than 120 or 110. And the 8 watts, and output's 9 volts, 200 milliamp. Okay, a little bit oxidized plug, but otherwise probably will work fine. But it is missing the switch box here, so that's unfortunate. However, I have plenty of them. I've never used this one before, but I am in no dire straits when it comes to Magnavox switch boxes. But like I was saying, this uses the punch-in style adapter rather than the RCA jack, and so I have that already hooked up, and I've sort of left that hooked up because we're going through all the Odysseys, and it's made it a lot more convenient so I don't have to keep replacing it, because I have these all connected to a VCR to make this work. Recently I did purchase a PAL-I which is used for the UK and I think parts of Africa or Australia or something, in order to hopefully drive a PAL signal out to the encoder, and that's going to be coming in the mail soon. Ultimately, we've already gone through some PAL systems in this series, and I don't have too many left, but I would like to be able to look at my PAL systems and say, like, this is either, you know, works or doesn't work, etc., without having to guess, simply because I don't have the PAL driver. Now, I do have a PAL TV, finally, and I have a up converter and everything, so I'm well placed to get it all to work, and we're going to find out down the road here if it does, but not today. This is definitely going to be in English. Now, you can open up the back, but I'm not going to. Normally there's a cardboard in here. If you looked at these other ones in the series, we hadn't had to do that, but I had done it on them. There usually is a battery tray, and we can see usually how clean it is. It is an interesting design that they chose with this, whether you know, unlike other ones, you have to take the whole back off of these, and where other ones, there's usually just a battery tray. And then there's a lot of features on the back where you can adjust the tuning of the game, but I'll tell you, so far we've been lucky. We've looked at 4 of these, and all of them have tuned in fine, so good there. Okay, the power supply did not explode. That's a good sign. Let's hook up video, and let's try turning it on. Oop, and we got a nice, crisp color display. Okay, great. I'm going to switch over to the video side, and we'll take a look at it. Here we go. And we are looking at the Odyssey 500. This is basically the pinnacle design of the 100 series. Now, what happens is they go into a thousands series. In the United States, they have whole numbers for the units, and then in Europe they had some configuration changes, so you know, they might have like a 1430 or something weird like that. They kind of configured them in that way, but the United States, they were all solid numbers that I recall. But for right now, we're ending up with the 500 as the last of the 100 series. So we can still center the blue line a bit. We have the E, sideways E's on both sides, or the W's for winner. I don't know which it's trying to do. I think we have a little bit of an edge on the one side, but that could be all fine-tuned inside the unit itself. Now let's switch to the top game, and we'll reset it. See, now we have 2 players. Move him up and down just like you could paddle control, and you can go left and right, which is unique, basically. Not totally unique, but fairly unique to the Odyssey series, who invented this game, so whatever. The blue guy, his control's a little wonky, but it looks like it can just get worked out through some use, and it'll be all right. And as usual, the third control is probably how much English you want to put on the ball. So I think maybe in order to serve the ball, we both have to go to the top of the screen. No. It's interesting. We can move this. It's centered. It's interesting. So there is a reset button, but there's no serve button, so I don't know, it's like every time you have to reset it. No. So how do you get the ball? Maybe we both go to the bottom of the screen? No. Weird. There's a speed button. Speed dial. No, there's no serve button. So it's interesting. I'm just looking at this and I'm trying to figure out. I can switch games, and that made the ball go across the screen once. It doesn't seem like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to serve. Are you supposed to both be in the center of the screen or something? Woo! There's got to be a trick to it. Let's look at the installation and game rules. Try to avoid that kind of shit, but, you know, what are you going to do? Set ball English. Speed. Okay. Oh, maybe it's because we're playing Smash? No, this is tennis. So we have tennis rackets. It just says the objective of tennis is for each contestant to skillfully defend his court and drive the ball past the opponent. Blah, blah, blah. Set the game switch to the tennis court, middle position. Set the player switch to the tennis player position, middle position. Well, maybe it's because we're not on, because we're in the squash mode with the tennis player. So we've got to be this mode or it won't give us the ball. Isn't that weird? 0 to 1. Players about blue power switch to the reset position, allow it to return. The score is now set to 0 and the game begins. Note, when either contestant reaches 20 points, a W will be displayed. So if I hit reset, it takes the score back to 0, but it doesn't launch the ball. Seriously, this is really weird. I mean, I can reset it, it doesn't launch the ball. Only when I select a different game does the ball come out. Why is that? I mean, it could be a bug. All right, let's there's like no score. Set. No score. And there's hockey. Right? It's really weird. I was thinking it must be some sort of bug. Because I don't know why you can't serve the ball and the ball only comes out occasionally. One was soccer. This is hockey. I move the power reset switch to the reset position. Let's return to the center position. I don't get it. Okay, so the only thing I can think to do is let's unbox the other one, put it in, and see if we get the same behavior. If we get the same behavior, then we can kind of chalk it up to it being a bug. This one does have a switch box. It does not have a foam. Instead, it has a bunch of little foam pellets. But they did put the unit itself in a plastic bag. So at least there was some TLC footage in here. Still a pretty clean unit. Not as clean, but pretty clean. Okay, let's shut this one off. With that. Plug in there. Sorry about the static. Let's go ahead. There. All right, well, that's more level, I guess. It's a bit weird that the orange one is moving across the screen. It's going to slowly go all the way to the right. Let's go up to the top. Switch it to handball. Where are the players? That to the middle. Hello. Hi there. Are you here to play handball with me? Well, I would if the ball would come out, but there's some secret to it that we're not being told. Yes, I've noticed that as well. Why do you think that is? I don't know. I have a hole in my chest, though. Perhaps I was shot, and this is all a dream. Could be. Seems rather morbid of you, though. Well, try switching games. All right. Hey, look, the ball. Whoop. Just happened. All right, let's switch to, well, that's hockey. The ball's lost its fucking mind. I've noticed that as well. Seems to not quite know what it wants to do. How do we get the ball? I think the ball is always here. It's just deciding to be of its own. Seems like the blue guys at a distinct disadvantage in this game. Alright, well, reset brings the ball out, but it bounces off of the blue guy. Is he on the wrong side? That's probably what it is. He's on the wrong side. Alright, now we just need the ball to come out. I am your ghost. I am the ghost. Ooh. I'm going to line them up. I'm going to line them up. Where's the fuck's the ball at? Come on, weird game. Oh. So what I'm thinking is that there's something goofed up with the game logic is driven by this switch that chooses the game. And it kind of... But it's really weird that the ball serve doesn't work. Ugh, this other manual's got some water damage. It's not good. It's basically trash. Although I doubt it's any different. Could you imagine getting this at home? This would be really sad. You'd be like, I don't know how to play, Dad. Dad, you broke it. I didn't do anything. All right, well, I don't want to keep you here any longer than this. This is way too long for what we're looking at here. I mean, it obviously works. I'm going to keep it. I just feel like there's a mystery here to how you make this serve the ball. It makes no sense. Like, you can reset it all day. It's like only if I change games does the ball come out. And then it's like it only comes out once. And then it never comes back out again. See, that's weird. It's like I should be on this side. Right? And then this guy should be over here. But that seems counterproductive. It's like, yeah, you know what it is? It's like it's stuck in handball mode. So this thinks we're in handball, which kind of makes sense since we both have our hands up, right? So let's go to tennis mode. But again, it still thinks we're in... Haha! This is so weird. I'm taking this back to the store. This Pong shit sucks. I almost look at it and I think to myself, like, I'm watching this and I'm like, how would you get the ball to go into the thing? Like, setting English, I mean, I guess you have to advance. Bastard. This is the craziest shit ever. Anyway, it looks like it works. It's just, it's really terrible. I don't know. No wonder this. By this point, 76, you're 2 years out from 2600. But you'd have no idea. You had no idea. You're like, this is as good as it got right here. This was it. You're like, I've heard rumors that they might be making other games. And you'd be like, wow, really? Yeah, they're just rumors. If they're anything like this, they can not make it, because I'm never buying a video game system again. Don't you think you're being a little bit hard on yourself there, Chuck? No. This is awful. Can't blame me. All right, anyway, I've taken up way too much of your time. I apologize. This video is awful, but what can I tell you? I mean, I'm just showing you in real time what this was like in 1976. It's terrible. Thanks for watching. We'll have something better next time. Later.